Today I want to highlight a deck that's been going around since Zabu hit the scene, but finally I have all the necessary cards, or at least the necessary main pieces of the deck to kind of highlight that. So it's really a Zabu control deck. So Zabu, if you're not familiar, is the new season card. He's a 3/2. He has an ability that is ongoing. Your 4-cost cards cost 2 less to a minimum of 1. You combine that with 2 very important cards along with a bunch of other 4-drops, but the 2 important cards are Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a 4-drop 3 power. On reveal, your opponent cannot play cards at this location next turn. So he essentially locks down one location for your opponent. You can still play cards there, but your opponent cannot. And he will only cost 2 with Zabu. You combine that with Absorbing Man, who also will only cost 2, and he gets to copy the on reveal of the last on reveal card you played. And so he'll copy Spider-Man, and you'll be able to lock down 2 locations. Ideally, you want to do this on turn 5. So you snap on turn 5 because you're confident. You're going to flip over Absorbing Man, flip over Spider-Man first, then Absorbing Man, which is important. Got to flip over Spider-Man first, then Absorbing Man, and you will lock down 2 opposing locations from being able to actually have any cards added to them by the opponent. Super, super strong deck. So I fill in the rest of this with really just some solid control options to really, finish out and flesh out the control style of the deck. But then I also put just some other solid 4-drops in. So I'm running Sunspot because we might have some extra mana on the last turns or extra energy on the last turn, so he'll get a little bit bigger, and I'm running Iceman. Just those 2 1-drops. Then I'm running Goose. He's got a pretty fun interaction with Zabu that hopefully I can show during the gameplay portion. And then I'm running Scorpion. I always like Iceman and Scorpion together just to get some hand mitigation going on. Smacking up their hand with some negative debuffs always helps. Then I'm done with my 1 and 2 drops. I'm only running 4. I'm not running a whole lot. My 3 drops are just going to be Storm, so she can lock down a location. So if you can lock down one location and then do what I just said with Spider-Man and Absorbing Man on the other 2, could be devastating. But ideally, you hit Zabu on turn 3. He'll make your 4-cost cards cost 2 less, as we discussed, and we have 6 4-cost cards. So I went over Spider-Man and Absorbing Man. I'm running Shang-Chi. He's a really solid option to be able to just blast your opponent's giant 9-power or more cards out of that location. I'm running Jessica Jones because Storm and the Jessica Jones is one of my favorite combos. It's a nice 8-power at that location, which is really good. I just pulled Rescue, so I'm throwing her in this deck. She is a 4/4. On reveal, if you play a card here next turn, plus 5 power. So that's a really solid option. We normally are going to have an extra card to play because we're going to be playing Rescue for 2, hopefully, with Zabu, and we can play something on top of her, give her a nice plus 5 power for 9 for 4, or 9 for 2, pretty crazy. And then I'm using White Queen as my last 4-drop just to get a card from my opponent, but you don't have to have her, she's not as important. I would say Absorbing Man is super, super solid for copying a couple things. I mean, he's really fun to copy Storm with, but that's kind of a stretch that's going to happen consistently. Like I said, definitely copy Spider-Man, but copying Jessica Jones is great. You'll get plus 4 power on Absorbing Man, which is huge. Copying Rescue if you have enough cards in hand to be able to trigger both Rescue and Absorbing Man, or if you play them both at the same location, you could just play 1 card there for a plus 10 power buff between the 2 of them. That's huge. And then, like I said, obviously, of course, copying Spider-Man is absurd, but I've also copied Shang-Chi at times. They really are playing a super big deck. Being able to blast 2 lanes of all their 9 power or more units is hilarious. So there are plenty of other 4-drops in the game. I don't own them all, but there are some really good ones, and even I do have some that you could just play in this deck. You could easily just play Enchantress in this deck if you feel like it. She removes the abilities from all ongoing cards at this location, which I am only running Goose and Zabu. So she's a solid option even in with this list, but if you don't have Spider-Man or Absorbing Man and you want to play a different style of control Zabu deck, you could easily play Enchantress. She's a really good option. I also think Warpath is a really good option. You can kind of just stick to flooding 2 locations, really try to dominate those 2, and Warpath will have a 9 power spike when you do that. That's solid. Namor is just one of my favorite cards in the game, so I think he's a really good option. Nice 10 power at a location if you just have him there, so you gotta just be careful with that, but tons and tons of power. And the list goes on. There's other ones I don't have, and there's some that are really, really solid in this list, but you could really kind of spruce it up. Zabu's a really fun card for essentially letting you just make a list that's running 6 4-drops, and it feels consistent. Normally you don't want that many 4-drops, but it's really fun when you do have this many, and you can normally play a lot of them. So I'm going to jump into some gameplay as always. If you've enjoyed it so far, leave a like, leave a subscription, and let's get right into some gameplay. All right, we got Goose, Storm, Spider-Man and Jessica Jones. Not a terrible hand. So I'm probably going to... Yeah, we got a bunch of rocks in our deck. Hate that location. Probably go with Goose on the left. See if we can limit what's going down at Stark Tower. But he's going to play a card there now. He's got Nova. So he's going to have some things getting destroyed there. We got Wakanda, so things can't be destroyed there. Which, if he is playing a destroy deck, that could be a beneficial location for us. So I'm going to try to shut down this middle location now. And if that's the case, I can make him just essentially play into only Wakanda and Stark Tower. Which would be pretty solid. So yeah, it looks like he is playing some destroyed stuff. So I'm going to go with Storm into Jessica Jones, which is a classic combo here. We'll see what he does. I'm looking, I could play Spider-Man on turn 5. That's when you want to play him. I mean, you can play him on turn 4 as well. But on turn 5 is pretty huge because you can stop them from being able to play things at a certain location after that, which is pretty great. So I got to see what I draw and see if I want to stay in this game or not. But I'm losing the left location, obviously. I'm going to win the middle, which is great. So I like it. I think I have enough power. So I'm going to go with Spider-Man and Iceman here on the right. So he's going to be able to play a card this turn at this location, but he's not going to be able to play a card here the next turn, which is great. He can play things on the left still. That's fine. We're giving him that location. But if we can win the middle and the right, that feels pretty good. So it's still going to function as a control deck, even though we didn't see Zabu this game. That's all fine. So he's going Wave, which is pretty great, and Demon. I'm going Spider-Man. And I am playing Iceman after, which is fine, but now he can't play anything in the middle location. He can't play anything in the right location. Of course I snap because I feel great about it. I don't think he has anything he can do. I can only play one card, so I'll play the highest power card I have, and we'll end the turn. So he literally can't play something in the right, and he can't play something in the middle. Even outside of Zabu, Spider-Man, Storm can really lock down some locations and make it feel really, really solid. Kind of baited the left location with Goose. He went all in there, and we played around the destroy deck with not being able to really handle Wakanda, so he thought he wouldn't play things there anyway. Felt like a great example of how to win with a control deck, so hopefully that is a little bit informative. So let's try to get a couple more games going from here. Alright, we got Goose, Sunspot, and Absorbing Man. I'll go with Sunspot on the left. He's a card that could potentially get the most power at something like Monster Metropolis. Ongoing effects are doubled in the middle. That's pretty wild. I could go with Goose, but I got Scorpion for now, so I'm just going to hit Scorpion out there. Still looking for Zabu. Hopefully we find him. He's got Angela, so he's going to have some pretty good power here at the middle. We just have Goose again. So I'm going to go ahead and put Goose on the left and try to limit what can be played on top of Monster Metropolis. And hopefully nothing that's too large will be able to be played there. Alright, so it's turn 4. I like Rescue here. Rescue will be a good chunk of power. We're not really hitting any crazy combos right now with Zabu and all that nonsense, but looks like we have a solid curve out at least. We'll probably draw Zabu on turn 6. I think that's pretty typical. Alright, so he's not going to be able to play something here. I need to play something here, so I'm going to go ahead and play White Queen there. I could play Absorbman to copy the rescue ability, but that kind of shows I'm going to play something there again next turn. But I want to play something there for sure to give rescue that +5. He's feeling good. He snaps. We're not feeling too bad right now. We got to see what he plays on turn 5, whether we're going to retreat or not on 6. Alright, so Rescue gets her +5. White Queen can give me what... A look at his hand of what he's going to play. So it looks like he's going to play Dr. Doom. But he Doc Ocks my entire hand. So he pulls everything out. So I'm going to get those Doom bots everywhere. I'm going to get Jessica Jones. I'm going to get Absorbing Man, which copies White Queen? Okay, so it's technically White Queen's the last thing I played. And then Shang-Chi comes out, which kills his Doc Ock, which feels pretty good. So I have a Dr. Doom, who I can't play over here because of Goose, and Spider-Man, who I can't play over here because of Goose. But I can end my turn, and Sunspot can still just get the +6 power. Feels solid. He can't play anything that has a 4, 5, or 6 at this location here, and at the right location, he'd have to beat 15, but she's going to get +4, so 19 power. So I don't think he's beating 19 power. And I'm already winning the middle. Yeah, I feel pretty good about where this one's at. So I'm going to hold. Obviously a very odd game, but so does, so be the snap. So be the snap. That's what I'm sticking with. Yeah, Marvel Snap, just a sometimes crazy odd game. Not sure what he's debating here. Maybe he's got... Okay, he retreats. I was going to say, I'm not sure what else he could be running in there to make that worth it. But, yeah, Doc Ock pulling Shang-Chi is always hilarious. And then himself getting blown up that way. Alright, let's try to get another one. Hopefully we draw Zabu. Alright, Goose, Iceman, and Jessica Jones. Alright, so Gamma Lab is here. So we'll play into Gamma Lab for now. Don't mind turning Iceman and Goose into Hulks. That's fine. My opponent agrees. He says, why not? If it's the first location up, why not get a little extra power out of it? So I will go ahead and play Goose there now. Might end up just playing Sunspot there as well if I don't see Zabu on 3. Alright, he's got Angela in the middle. He had Nova on the left, so we got to see what he's thinking here, how much he's going to be able to power up that middle location. So I'm going to go with Sunspot on the left. I'll get 3 Hulks, he'll get 2 Hulks. Or no, he'll get 3 as well. He plays Mr. Sinister, so that's solid. So we're looking for Shang-Chi for that location now to secure that win. So we need to try to win one of these other locations. Don't know if I'll try to contest Angela in the middle. I might just go for the right side. We did find Shang-Chi, so that's pretty great. So I'm going to try to win Gamma Lab, and I'm going to try to win Savage Land here. So he's playing in the middle, which helps my attempt at winning this game. We got Jessica Jones on the right, so we don't want to play anything on top of that, but we would love to play Shang-Chi on the left to secure this location. Unless he's running his own Shang-Chi, I can't think of a way he's going to come back on Gamma Lab and get the win there. So we just really need to next turn lock down Savage Land. He's committing to it. He's playing Killmonger, which kills all the Raptors, and Forge. Alright, Shang-Chi dominates that location, so we need to get some good power here on the right. So the most we can get, I believe, is 6, so we'll just go for that and see if it's enough. Looks like it was for that game. So that felt solid. Again, no Zabu, because anytime you try to make a video on Marvel Snap about a particular character, the game refuses to let you draw that character. But regardless, we'll accept that win. Alright, so we got Sunspot, Rescue, Spiderman, and Zabu, which is a solid hand, and the Nexus is out. So that's interesting. I'm not sure I want to commit Sunspot to the Nexus. I might need more power there, so I'm going to go with Sunspot in the middle. If we don't draw a 2-drop, that's fine, because we have Sunspot. Although, now whoever has the least power at this location wins this one. So we're going to hopefully find Storm at some point to turn that off, because now I have to at least give Sunspot +1 energy, but I'll most likely get stuck by giving him extra energy. So we'll see what happens. We're going to play Iceman to the right. He has a really nice Hood variant, and looks like he's playing a Thanos deck, so he gets to play all the cool stones, which is nice. Let's see. Enemy cards here, -1 power. So he is giving -1 to his whole board, so the bar with no name is acting pretty hilariously. I'm going to go with Zabu on the left. He's got the Mind Stone. What's that do? Draw 2 stones from my deck. Alright. So we got Zabu, and we have Rescue, and then we have what we want for turn 5 as well. So I'm going to go with Rescue here and Jessica Jones. So I'm going to go with both of those. So I'm going to probably play something on top of that anyway next turn. So Jessica Jones is just going to be there for the 4 power. But I'm most likely going to play something on top of this location and the right location. So really, doesn't matter which location. I guess technically this location is a little bit better, because I could play something more powerful. But in my deck, really only White Queen fits that description. So I'm going to go with Jessica Jones on the left here. Alright, so we got Rescue and Jessica Jones. He's got the Demon in the middle, which is a little bit weird. And then he's got all of his stones. So Thanos is going to be big. Okay, he transforms the location with the Reality Stone. And it just so happens to kill my Sunspot. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. He's snapping. I'm guessing he's got Thanos to play on the right side location. He can't play anything here. Oh yeah, you can move one card at this location. So he's going to move something off of the Nexus to be able to play something at the Nexus. So I'm guessing he's going to want to play Thanos at the Nexus. So if I shut the Nexus down with Spider-Man, that's pretty great. Then I'm going to try to shut down the right location with Absorbing Man. So he snapped. I'm going to try to play this out and see if it works. Oh no, he fills up all the locations now. Okay, interesting. So Spider-Man and Absorbing Man actually aren't going to do anything because he's filling up everything right now before the final turn. Unless they're destroy cards. Alright, perfect. He's playing Carnage on top of all that. So he destroys everything at the Nexus, but I have the Nexus completely locked down now. He can't play anything on top of it, and I already won the right location, so we win the game. So it worked out perfectly. For a second, I was confused as why he was playing something there when there's a turn left, but I forgot. He's probably going to run some destroy-based things, since he had the hood there earlier. He destroys everything. Spider-Man locks down that location perfectly. Absorbing Man copies Spider-Man, locks down the right location, but it was already filled, and we win the game simply by just controlling the board very well. Felt really solid. Felt exactly how it was supposed to. Just you got to draw a Zabu. So sometimes if you don't, it hurts. If not, there's other ways to win the game, as you saw in the previous couple games. So hopefully you guys like this deck. It's a pretty standard Zabu control deck. There's some really fun synergies here. If you have these cards, you got to give it a shot. As always, keep on snapping. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, leave a like, and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.